are Tyrians. We are many races, several professions. We practice the arts of combat as well as healing. We have foes, and we fight them without mercy. And it's time for us to claim back what is ours. It's time for us to claim back Tyria from the terror of the Elder Dragons. We can't go on living our lives in fear. We have to fight. We have to make a stand. This is our story.
Alright, well, hello everyone, and welcome to episode number 39 of Chronicles of Tyria podcast, Guild Wars 2 podcast for fans by fans. This week's show, we'll be talking about the new information that we received for the preview of Flame and Frost The Raising, and we'll also be talking about our favorite NPCs in Guild Wars. But to get that all started, let's go with some COT Weekly. Alright, and welcome everyone to COT Weekly. We're gonna kind of break our standard, at least for this week anyway, our back and forth where I read something, Kaysee reads something, we go back and forth. We wanted to put the little video in there to break it up, but since we only have one real piece of news, which is this update that came out today, we're just gonna kind of discuss it.
Yep.
So, yeah.
Yeah, I'm really excited about this. Finally, another update, hopefully a little bit more content, and I won't resume my rant from last week about this whole stuff, but I'm very excited, and I'm actually looking forward to more storyline, because it seems like they're going to focus a bit more on storyline in this one.
Yeah, we see we're going to have, there's the two separate missions with Bram, the Norn, and Rox, the Char. So we learned a little bit about them. Oh, and just real quick as an update, maybe refresh your page if you're not getting any video, if you're there in the chat. So I'll just read off, I guess, I'm going to call him Bram's struggle. As the city struggled to handle the influx of refugees, a valiant young Norn named Bram seeks help from besieged people of his homestead. Join Bram on his journey to find aid for those Norn who stayed behind in the foothills of the Shiver Peaks, a journey that will bring you into conflict with the deadly Molten Alliance.
Da da da.
And then Rox, the Char. During the chaos, Rox, Char Ranger lacking a warband, is sent on a desperate mercy mission by Ritlock Brimstone himself. Team up with this young Char Gladium as she strives to prove her worth on a dangerous errand into the midst of a war zone.
Da da da.
And then the last little piece is, we've been infiltrated. The Dredge have constructed a series of surveillance posts throughout the Essa Plateau and Wayfarer foothills to keep tabs on their prospective new territory. Confound the Molten Alliance's war effort by destroying these spy posts wherever you find them.
Da da da. Sorry, I just had to do it. That was the last one, I promise.
But yeah, I wonder if we're going to see anything with that new structure that we saw. I don't know. It says spy posts, and if you look in a little image that they give you, it almost looks like a satellite dish on a post. So I don't think we're going to be going into there, not yet anyway.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a lot of things coming out from this, like the Molten Alliance and the spy post to keep eye on their territory. It really feels like it's really warming up, and what scares me is that it's warming up just now, and it's like part 2. So,
Kaysee.
Oh god. Okay, calm down.
This is part 3.
I'm really worried that they're going to get to a point where it's really tense and climactic, and they're just like, bam, that's the end. They're dead. That sort of thing. But I'm excited, very excited.
Yeah, so, world versus world, progression and abilities. There's never been a better time to play World vs. World. We're adding brand new World vs. World progression system, which includes new World XP, which I don't know. I guess we'll have to kind of see what comes out of that when they say World XP.
Yeah.
And new World vs. World ranks. You can use your ranks to purchase new titles and abilities that are exclusive to World vs. World. We're also rolling out. Yeah, I think. Let me see if I can see anything from this image.
As we
Rank
squish our
27.
face up against the screen trying to see what it is.
Oh yeah, here you go. Ranks. This person in this little thing is rank 27, Scout, and it says, like, here's some of the things: Guard Killer increases damage to enemy guards. Defense against guards reduces the damage you take from guards.
Wow.
Increases damage and reduces damage from mercenaries. Reduces damage you take from siege, which is huge. Increases the damage you do with siege attacks. Increase the amount of supply you can carry. Improve cannon use. Improve ballista skills. And it looks like there's 5 ranks within each single one. So my guess is, like, for instance, the improved supply capacity has 5 ranks, and it looks like it takes, I think, now I'm figuring out this World XP, it looks like to get your first rank in increased supply capacity is 20 World XP, or whatever it is. So my guess is each one you get an increased threshold of supply capacity. So, you could be carrying maybe, I don't know, maybe 30 supply if you had all 5 ranks.
Yeah, wow.
So very cool. And it looks like there's a whole, this is all in the new World versus World window. When you hit the B tab, it's got general, ranks, abilities, and then all the battlegrounds and the ability to enter. So it looks like there's going to be a whole new interface, which is good. I like the sound of this.
Well, they did promise that March was going to be World versus World, so.
So I mean, this is definitely cool for World versus World players. It also adds a new, in traditional ArenaNet style, a new form of currency.
No way.
in your World XP. It's experience, but it's essentially a new form of currency.
Yep.
So that's cool. What else do we have? New ranks, new titles, new abilities, and I think they said up front in the beginning this is mostly going to be passive abilities like the ones I listed off, but later on there may be active abilities like maybe new skills and things like that. And we're rolling out new achievements to help you track and plan your progress. You can keep track of them in the achievement panel.
I think that would be really interesting because obviously commanders who play a lot and do a lot, they will become kind of like almost these godly figures where they have so many worldly experience and they do so much more damage and stuff like that. I think that's very interesting.
Yeah, it helps, make people will get a name for themselves, and I wonder if it's going to be retroactive, like, or are you going to have to start again?
Yeah. Like
you kind of did with the Laurels. Like, we've all done countless dailies and monthlies, but we didn't get anything for what we had earned.
Yeah, yeah.
We only got it. So I'm curious to see how that works. And again, we talked about it last week. The death of culling. That's supposed to come out with this. So be on the edge of your seat for that, or not. We'll see how that goes. Next thing, which is. You got a couple of interesting things out of this. New guild bounty hunt targets. So cool. They just released guild bounties and guild missions in general. They're already expanding on it, which has me very hopeful for the future for the other kind of things they'll update for maybe adding new mission types. Again, we've only ever done guild bounties here in COT, so we don't know any of the other things, but the potential to add more is pretty cool. So it just talks about, these 3 new targets are more elusive and more menacing than ever.
That means they're going to be running, like not just walking like the other ones. They're going to be full pelt running away from you.
But then here's what I don't know, because they don't really talk about it. Bounty hunt training missions are perfect for a new or small guild looking to work their way up to bigger challenges.
Oh.
So they don't really talk much about it, But training missions, I think, is something excellent. Probably should have been implemented last time. But that's cool for smaller guilds. We'll have to see what that is. Also, would be good if you have a bigger guild and you have people that haven't done it. Training would be a good idea.
I wonder if you get the reward.
I don't know.
Maybe you get merits, but not the reward. We'll see.
Yes. Leaderboards, a huge deal. Finally, for World versus World, PvP, and total achievement points. So very cool. It's a little late, I think.
Yeah.
But
we're going to be saying that when Guild versus Guild finally comes out. We're going to be like, a little late.
Guild Wars. They just released Guild versus Guild.
Yeah.
Awesome. And this next piece, I'm very excited for the potential. Heralds in each capital city will bring you up to date on the latest living story content. Now, they already do that, but it's, arguable, I think, how much help they provide. Just like, go to Diessa Plateau, there's stuff going on. Well, thanks for that.
I liked it when they were like, there seems to be something going on in Diessa Plateau. Like, that was all they said. They were just like,
So, but the last sentence there, look for special scouts in Diessa Plateau and Wayfarer Foothills who will point you toward nearby activities.
Yeah, that's going to be good.
Making use of scouts or making new scouts is a good idea, I think.
Yep.
So, very cool.
Very exciting. I'm very excited.
Yeah, so that's our COT weekly piece. So thank you guys for putting up with that. Now, we're going to get on to a couple of other things. First off, to answer all the questions that I'm getting in the chat about who the person is behind me over here. I don't know if you guys remember from around Christmas time, my friend Sean was here in the background, and people made comments about him being, I think it was Pirate maybe, something about Christmas elf, and he went in the other room and brought me Mountain Dew one time, and people were like, look, he's like an elf. So he took that to heart and said St. Patrick's Day just was around the corner, so he's going to dress up like a leprechaun. So there you go. That's for you guys.
I bet there's whiskey in that mug he's drinking.
There is, but that's okay. So yeah, we actually had to go out to a store to make sure we had the hat to make that. And in case people make pot of gold comments, gold coins, they're chocolate. So that's a little something for you guys. So you're welcome. Yes, Tully, he is just going to sit there and drink. He's also playing Guild Wars on my laptop because his operating system on his Mac and also his internet connection at his house is not the best. So the only time he really gets to play it is here at my house. So, boom. I just do what I can for the Guild Wars community. So, alright, so to start off, before we get into the actual content, the meat of everything, I'm going to take attendance for everybody that I see here that's in our guild. As those of you know, you are entered in a chance to win a raffle for a prize, and the most participation at the end of the month also wins a more elite prize. So, I'm just taking down names.
And while
everybody that I...
that...
Yeah, sorry.
I can just quickly do COT news. This week on COT there it hasn't been very much. Amber released a new part of her story, which is the Azuran Thief, which was very interesting. And also, for those who really like the fan fiction at COT, we're starting something new, which is a storyline of a Norn when she goes out and explores basically the living story. So we're going to be starting that very soon, about a living story, and basically follow the storyline through fiction. So if you enjoy that sort of stuff, please come and check out the story. It'll be up hopefully tomorrow morning for you guys in America.
Alright, well thank you for the COT news. I've got just something to list off the people real quick. Again, sorry for those listening later on or after the fact. I've got Jal, Joel, Tully, Kiata, Cassandra, Reaper. I believe that's everybody that's here. If you're in here and you want participation, and I didn't call out your name, type your name out, and I'll add you in. And I'm going to give it a couple minutes, or a minute, and if not, we're going to keep moving. But I'm going to continue to talk, so that there's no silences. Oh, Brahms. Brahms is in. Okay, see, if you don't comment, then you won't get credit.
Right.
Okay, Tigress is here. We'll call her Tigress. So that, oh, Atali, I got you. You're good. Alright, so we introduced the question of the week.
Should I do a little jingle? Question of the week, yeah! There we go.
Thank you. I hope you record that, because you're going to have to say it every week now. Just like firing the lasers. But no, again, I put it out there. If anybody wants to come up with a silly little video or a silly jingle to go along with it whenever we do that, we will use it. If it's good. If it's not good, we won't use it. Yes. So, like I said at the beginning of the show here, after COT Weekly ends, we're going to be giving you the answer from the previous week's question of the week. And then to find out when the new question is, you gotta listen to the whole show. We only actually received one answer for the question of the week, so guess what? You are the one who wins. Congratulations.
Appalling, guys. We know a lot more of you are watching. How come we didn't get any entries, guys? Come on, we know you have an opinion. You need to tell us these things. So we're expecting more next week, okay, guys? More entries.
Yes. So, and I'll quote: "We're gonna finish There was part of a larger mail which we'll read after this. But as for the question of the week, they could make a server or this. Oh, by the way, the question was regarding guesting and how could they change it. You guys can take it. It kind of sounds like the ideas are good, but again, I'll just end. I quote. As for the question of the week, they could make a server or two for people guesting and fill it with them instead of making it so they go to high pop servers and force them into an overflow. If not make independent servers, make it so that you're sent to a low population server. There are probably issues that I can't think of because guesting isn't something I really see as essential. Branner of the Tarnished Coast. He says servers, but I feel like if you replace server with overflow, it makes a lot more sense. Because the reason people are guesting onto a different server is to play with their friends on a different server. So it doesn't really make sense if they guest to your server and then they just kick them to another server entirely. It kind of defeats the purpose. But it would make more sense, I agree, if you were to tweak that and make it overflow and the guesters get automatically kicked to the lowest population overflow, because then their friends can just join them there.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
So, thank you, Branner. That's Branner, Braanir, of Tarnished Coast. So thank you for doing that. Again, right now all we're offering is a shout out for the prize if you win, because we haven't thought of anything better yet. So that's on us. So thank you. And then the next piece, I guess we're going to read the rest of his mail in a little mailbag section here, because why not? So his email was titled "Your Podcast Rocks" in all capitals with lots of exclamation points. And said, "Hello, hosts of CoTPodcast. I wanted to start by saying after listening to all of your shows over the past 3 weeks since I bought the game, it is awesome. I was quite sad when I finished all the episodes and had nothing to listen to while running around and playing. When I jumped into the live show tonight, I believe that you were asking for suggestions about what to talk about. I think it would be cool if you guys recap the story of the first game, since Wooden Potatoes hasn't released any new videos on it. Can't agree more there.
Yep.
And I stopped playing when Factions was released. Also, I would love if Dint would come back for a show or two. He was hilarious." And then there was the thing about the question of the week. And then again, "Your show is totally my favorite, and I can't wait for the future episodes."
Aw, that's lovely. Thank you.
Yes, thank you very much. I wouldn't be opposed to doing a lore recap of what happened in the first games, because you're right. Wooden Potatoes went about 6 parts into his 12-part series for Guild Wars Prophecies, then stopped and started on Factions. But he hasn't even started that. He read a letter from Master Togo to Menlo.
Ah, Master Togo. Sorry, she's not here, so I have to do it for her.
Yep. So, thank you again. If you guys have things you'd like to suggest for future episodes and things like that, please send them to us. And actually, I feel bad because I believe I had a mail in game and I just don't have the game open to look at it. From a member here in COT that sent me comments, and I'm sorry. I think it was Nick, and I'm sorry for not having it out. I spaced.
We love you, Nick. It's fine.
Yeah, I will find that and I will talk about it next week for sure. So again, thank you to all of you. Thank you to all of us here, because we're that full of ourselves. Why not? Thank you to everybody who's come out and viewed us, commented on Facebook. Thank you to everybody who's been helping us drive up the participation on our forums, because it has been low. But yeah, it's been up a lot. Like, we've had people commenting, even new people, almost every day. So thank you to everyone who's doing that. We're also almost at 23,000 views on YouTube, so that's awesome. So yeah,
Yay.
Thank you guys for that. Kaysee, did you have any shout-outs that you wanted to give?
I feel like I did, or I should. I'm gonna get in trouble by someone after the show. No. I think. Although Joel says I would use Joel as my shout out. I love you, Joel. You're my hero. Yay. No, just thanks to everyone for being very patient with me. I've tried to upload it, the show to iTunes. Not having very much luck at the moment. So sorry about that. And also, I know on my screen the podcast seems to flicker on the stream, and I'm really sorry if it's causing anyone any troubles. Yeah, so that's my shout out. Sorry.
Alright, well, I would like to shout out just real quick to Lindsay Sterling, because she's awesome. No more explanation needed on that. And Sean, like my St. Patrick's Day leprechaun. Yeah, no problem, dude. So yeah. Awesome. So we're gonna move on to our to our kind of topic, and it's kind of a short topic. And ArenaNet put up their post about who's your favorite. They did originally, I think, who's your favorite member of Destiny's Edge, I think was the original one. I think, right?
Yeah.
Wasn't that a thing?
Something like that.
And who won? Did Zoja win?
I don't know.
I
don't care. I just don't like any of them.
Hang on. Let me look this up.
It was either Zoja or Kaith, surely.
Yes. No, we'll get to the next part.
Oh, yeah, we'll get to that.
Yes, don't worry. I just want to see, because I think that originally it was who's your favorite member of Destiny's Edge, and I could have sworn it was Zoja that won. Or was it Air? I don't know.
Can't be Air. Air is so flat. I'm an old woman.
Oh, it was favorite female. That's what it was.
Female. Oh, yeah, because it was the woman's thing.
Yes.
Oh.
Yes, that's right.
Can't remember who was that one.
I'm scrolling. We're celebrating International Women's Day with and they just picked out. Oh, it was their favorites they picked.
Yep.
I'm sorry. And they picked one of each race. So they picked Torga Desertgrave, Amaranth, Dessa, Countess Anise, and Havrun Gretchen. So that's what they picked. Anyway. Oh. And who's your favorite NPC in all of Tyria was the follow-up question, which, to no surprise in my mind to anybody, Tybalt Leftpaw won.
I love Kiada's comment. My favorite woman is Logan. Oh, that was so well done, Kiada.
Perfect. Yeah. But yes, as far as NPCs go, as NPCs that are original, lively, and you care for, I feel, and actually you feel bad when bad things happen to them, Tybalt Leftpaw, hands down, the best NPC. I'm gonna go probably in the game, period.
Yeah.
So.
He's a very cool character, even I love him.
Yeah, I mean, Siren wasn't bad as far as order MP. I mean, she was kind of annoying, but and the other guy, like I said, the Norn. I don't even remember his name because
I
I
just
feel he was
remember
that
the crazy eyes and the way he go with
five
like
eyes.
rah, 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 the way his voice went and those crazy eyes. That's all I remember about him.
But also Forgel, thank you, Cassandra.
Forgel.
I think that if you replaced Traherne with Tybalt, nobody would have any problems about this game. Like if Traherne was the person that died, you know, if you had Traherne for Order of Whispers, and then you never saw him ever again, and then Tybalt continued the rest of the game,
Yeah.
and it's like, oh man, we're in Ore. I wish there were some apples here. Yeah, you know what, buddy? I do wish there were some apples here. You're the best NPC in this damn game.
There would be a mission in Ore where you're like trying to like he's like, we must save them, and it'd be like really desperate, and you get there and it's like a barrel of apples and you'd be like
It's an apple cart. That would be epic. So yes. So anyway, we're going to talk about our favorite NPCs. And Kaysee is going to start off. She actually has 2 because she's an overachiever, and I have 1. But yeah.
No, my ones are really short, so I decided to do 2 because I couldn't choose between the 2 of them. Actually, I really loved them, but this one doesn't have any spoilers, but we should let you know that later on I will let you know when there will be spoilers. But anyway, my first NPC that I really love is McLean the Minstrel. And in case you don't know who this person is, remember, like, if you were at the start, there was this big reveal when the Mesmers came out, and you went to the page and like, revealing the new Mesmer character, and it was like the Minstrel, and there was this guy going da 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 da, and, like, he was singing really badly, like I can't even do it that bad. That was McLean the Minstrel. When you pressed on him, it shattered and it became the Mesmer profession reveal. So what happened was he kind of evolved as the Joker, and ArenaNet decided to keep him in the game because everyone really liked him. So he is actually a character in the game now called McLean the Minstrel. And I'll just read a little bit that I've written about him. McLean is a renowned human minstrel who transverses Tyria, singing for nobles and soldiers alike. He likes to boast that he has sung in the finest courts of the land, including to Queen Janna at Corticus's manor. As of now, you can find him at Meddler's Summit in Ore, though on major holidays he travels back to Lion's Arch to share in the festivities. If you ask, he's more than happy to sing a tune or 2. However, his strained tones don't often sit well with the local raiders, and he often encounters hostilities. So, when I say his strained tones, he's actually a terrible singer. He's like, even though he's sung in the grandest courts in the land, he's actually really bad at singing. And I will actually include 2 links in the show notes of songs that he has sung. During Halloween, like, one thing I really liked about him is he's evolved, instead of just this joke character, he's evolved to something a bit more where on holidays he comes to Lion's Arch and he's meant to sing things. And like during Halloween he walked around Lion's Arch, and if you talked to him, upon request he would sing a song about the Mad King, divulging interesting lore about him, which was really interesting. I was so happy when I saw him walking around. I clicked on him and got him to sing. And am I still robotic?
No, you're not anymore.
Oh, good. I was really excited to see him walking around Lion's Arch, and I got him to sing for me, and I really enjoyed it. He was supposed to sing in Winter's Day, but they couldn't finish his lyrics in time, so hopefully they have a little bit more preparation for him, because he's by far my favourite character. He's voiced by McLean Diemer, which is someone at ArenaNet, which is why it's called McLean the Minstrel, but the spelling is a bit different. This is a tiny bit of the spoiler, so if you haven't done personal story, where you go to the pale tree, close your ears for like a minute. In a flash forward, where you go to or with the pale tree is kind of like illusion-y sort of stuff. He appears to be a part of your allies, with Traherne fighting the undead. So like he actually appears in a personal story, which I thought was very interesting. So he's not just someone there who sings. He actually has a part in the story. He's helping fight the undead. And yeah, he's just one of my favorite characters because he adds so much character to the Guild Wars universe. Like, it seems so like the humans to exonerate this awful singer as their minstrel, because he's all pompous and he likes to boast a lot. And sometimes I wonder if I don't know how he got famous, and maybe if it's all in his head. But I mean, he knew when you talked to him, he knew what happened at Corticus's manor in the story dungeon. So I'm starting to think it's not in his head, but it just makes me laugh. And I think he's a really interesting character, and I'd love to see more stuff about him.
Is that it?
Yep.
Okay. Okay. So I'm going to talk about my favorite NPC, but before that, question of the week for this week.
Bam.
Yeah. So,
oh no, I need to do
we've
my
all
song.
seen. Oh, go ahead, do it.
Question of the week, yeah.
All right. So we've all seen what ArenaNet has done with the living story so far. So how and where else would you like to see them implement this mechanic somewhere else in Tyria? Not necessarily about the current living story, but just this whole having new content that just kind of comes out, doesn't require an update in various parts of Tyria, whether it be whether it be somewhere in Kryta, and like have that mechanic happening with something new and original, or expanding on an existing storyline. So there you go. Send us your responses, hosts@chroniclesoftyria.com, and yeah, we will. The best answer, and again, this is opinion based, so it's whatever we think is the best answer, will be what we talk about next week on the show. So please send us your responses. And now onto my favorite NPC, which I didn't realize was, until just reading it now, was who ArenaNet picked as their favorite Sylvari NPC, which is Amaranth. And I was going to say, if you try to look up the link from ArenaNet where they posted this back on their blog before Guild Wars 2 came out, you can't, because the page no longer exists. So, deal with it. Amaranth is a Sylvari character, ranger, who has a Fernhound pet, and she's actually located in the Black Citadel. And this character was inspired by Kelly Wells, who was a real, that's her real life name. She traveled from Maine with her dog Anna all the way to, I think, the San Diego office for NCSoft, walking across America to get there to just tell them like how great she loves their company and how much they inspired her to do different things. So, they decided that this story was so moving of this girl and her dog traveling across America that they made her and her dog an NPC in the game. And if you find her in the Black Citadel, I have her dialogue right here, I'll read it out. But if you find her in the Black Citadel, she says, "Isn't this a sight? When I left the Grove." There's a period there, that's just stupid. I knew I'd see amazing things, but I wasn't prepared for this. I'm walking from one end of Tyria to the other with my hound Anna. And then you respond, "You're walking across Tyria? Why?" And then she says, "Why not? Ever since emerging from the pale tree, I've had the itch to see what the world has to offer. What better way than with my own 2 feet?" And you say, "Wouldn't it be easier to gate to your destination?" She says, "Would it? I suppose so. But think of how much you miss, traveling instantly from one point to point. I wanted to experience the in-between." And then you say, "What an adventure." And then, "This sounds like a long journey. Did you miss your home?" And she says, "Home, to me, home is comfort and love. Home is wherever I am, wherever I lay my head at night. So I'm bringing home with me." And then I see, "Have a good journey, goodbye. I have my own journey." Oh, did you find the website, Cassandra? That would be great. Oh, yeah, there's the TED Talk that discusses it. But yeah, it's just a really cool story, and I think honestly, ArenaNet is not. Oh, it's her personal blog. Thank you. I feel that it's not. It's not implemented well on ArenaNet's part. This is supposed to be a wandering character that wanders across Tyria, and she sits in the Black Citadel.
Yep.
All the time. We've seen what you can do with the living story now. Have this character travel across Tyria. Make her Nicholas the Traveler 2.0. I think that would be a brilliant idea.
That'd be a great idea.
I mean, she's already a traveler. Make her, and like, because of the main worlds that we have, just don't have her like show up in a spot. Have her walking, kind of like how Gullick just shows up and then leaves, but only if you're there at the right time. Have her move, and then all of a sudden you find her today. She's just somewhere. She's in Kessex Hills, or she's in Frostgorge Sound, or she took a boat to South Sun Cove, and she's collecting all the stupid junk that you have no need for, that you just sell all the gray items, just like Nicholas the Traveler. I mean, maybe you could always make an event where she travels to Ebonhawk and then learns and reads of Nicholas the Traveler, and that inspires her to do a similar thing. Yeah, actually, Brahms brings up a good point. They kind of did it with the Script Burglar, but the Script Burglar is fewer and far between, I feel. Like, I've never even encountered Script Burglar once in any of my playing.
Whoa.
Since they implemented it. But
I love the Script Burglar.
Maybe I'm not in the right place at the right time.
He's really common in the lower areas, that's for sure.
That's probably why, because I haven't gone back too much to the lower areas, and I've been crafting my professions higher. Yeah, Joel, that's what I meant with like the living story and the guild bounties, how they just move around. So I think that would be a really good idea. And I mean, maybe they are planning on doing that, but they're waiting. Like, if you think about Nicholas the Traveler moving around, that whole thing was brought in fairly late in the game to Guild Wars 1 to kind of reinvigorate people to go to those other areas and, kill all the enemies rather than just running through an area to get to the next point. You kill the enemies and you get, char hides or char carvings.
Gargoyle skulls.
Yes, gargoyle skulls, the scales and all these different things that you had no need for. But now you can just, they have a purpose now. Like, I mean, I could probably at this point have 6,000 globs of gobbledygook if I didn't sell it to the merchants. But, like, think about that. That would make that interesting. You'd have people selling that on the trading post, or if you can even sell it on the trading post, I don't even know. But trading, like, people used to do that. They'd have stacks of them, and they would sell them, They'd go to the area where Nicholas the Traveler was and sell them in the nearest town. I think that, like I said, maybe that's 6 months down the road as, things start to dwindle. They say, hey, here's what we're doing. We're bringing Amaranth out as a major NPC to try to bring people back. But I feel like it could be better implemented. But that's my piece on that.
Alright.
Sorry.
I will continue with my second character. And I just realized this second, I always do this, I forgot to really figure out how to pronounce the name, if it's Eli or Ellie. I'm gonna go with Ellie. Ellie is an Azura, who is my favourite character, and she actually has a lot of spoilers in her thing, so I'll warn you just before I say a spoiler, and you can just close your ears for like 10 seconds. So basically, Ellie is an Azura who this is my little bit I've written on her. Ellie is an Azuran who works as a fight commentator. Her biggest attribute, apart from her larger-than-life attitude, is a holographic projection of herself that she uses to make her voice 10 times louder. She later on tweaked it so she'll be able to fight with it too. She made it as her SNAF prize entry, but apparently the judges didn't appreciate it. Despite being expert on holomancy, she started commentating on golem battles using her holographic projection. She can be seen working the battle pit in Gandharan Fields during the Sylvari storyline. While commentating, Agent Zotz recognized her talents and brought her to help with the Order of Whispers. So she is this she's like this little Azura that you see quite not often, but she kind of reoccurs in a lot of them. For the starter Sylvari storyline, she is actually commentating on a pit battle that you have to partake as part of an Azura, and sorry, as a Sylvari. And then later on, she's in the Order of Whispers story. If you choose one of the choices, she'll be a part of the Order of Whisper choices. And she's really interesting. She has a lot of she's a little quirkiness about her that makes her fun. And yes, Tully asked in the chat, she's the NPC that dances with the hologram, right? That's right. She conjures up this hologram that's quite big, very big, almost the size of a human, and then she is kind of holographic, like see-through, and then she talks with it, and it sounds like she's talking through a megaphone. So she's a lot of fun, and she has a really quirky attitude, really bright, and to the point where I didn't want missions with her in it to end, and I wanted her to be a main character, and I kind of wanted her to replace Zoja. She has 10 times more personality than Zoja does. And what I love about her is during the mission, she sometimes gets swept up in the excitement and talks like she's commentating on a golem fight. So in one of the missions, when you kill the end boss, she'll be like, and we did it today. Yes, we smashed and bashed that undead guy, and she'll speak like that, and it's a lot of fun. Oh yes, and she's also in the Azuran storyline as well. So she makes lots of appearances, which I think is really great because she's a really charismatic character. This is where the spoilers. Close your ears for 10 seconds if you don't want spoilers. While in Awe, she has a brief romance with it's romance, but it's a Azuran romance, so it's kind of like persnicketing at each other with Agent Zot. So she gets all romantic, and it's very cute because she's like, I love it when you get flustered, and she's like, pity it doesn't happen to her. It's very cute as an Azura. So yeah, she's definitely my favorite character. She has so much personality, and she's a good example of how much fun Azura can be, because a lot of Azuras are really stiff and kind of boring because they all say the same thing, like I'm better than you, that sort of thing. But yes, Jolinar's right, I am fangirling a little bit. I love her, I love the character so much. But she kind of changes it up, and she's very unique as an Azura. She's a lot of fun, but she still has this I'm better than you attitude, but she's more fun about it, and she feels more like a real world Azura that's been out instead of just staying in the cube. So yeah, that was my little bit on her. And if you have any choices to do any of the personal story with her in it, I really suggest you do it because she is my favorite character by far.
Alright then. Thank you, Kaysee.
Well, thank you very much.
We are pretty much about to wrap it up. We're actually going to have a pretty quick show, but I actually do have a handful of small things that I just kind of came across and realized. One, if you don't know, all of the it happened 2 days ago, but all of the lost and found items for the living story that you find in DS Plateau and Wayfarer Foothills are available now. So if you don't have them and you want to get them, you can go do that. I'm sure if you just ask in map chat, you'll be able to find it if you don't want to look for yourself. So check that out. Also, I don't know if anybody's noticed, ArenaNet has updated the forums, their official forums, to add 2 new areas: a Living World area and a Living World discussion and a Flame and Frost discussion sub forums. So there are 2 additional sub forums to discuss new areas. So check that out. I have one interesting point, because someone asked, forgive me for the confusion, but I thought that the Flame and Frost was what you guys are calling a living world or living story. What's the difference? And there's actually an update from Colin Johansson that says, living world is really a broader concept. It's the idea that Guild Wars 2 is and will become more so a truly living game where the world can change constantly and can constantly evolve going forward. This will come in a lot of different forms, One example of stuff we've done in the past is new events, dungeons, guild missions, etc. being added that constantly expand the range of content and experiences. We want to keep more and more of this with our world in the future to constantly provide new exciting things you can discover and experience anytime in Guild Wars 2. Another form of this is through special events like Halloween, Hunger Games, or Winter's Day, where content is available for a period of time, is removed from the game when the period is over, and could appear again in the future in some form to help provide unique and fun experiences in the world. Most important thing that came out of that particular sentence, I think, is they mentioned the Hunger Games as something that could potentially appear again. So, finally, the storyline of this type of content going into the world is really the living story in a sense of the game. We want to try and theme our releases with storylines and main characters in the game world that have exciting story arcs, a lot of permanent new content, special events, etc. will all have these core story arcs that drive them in the game world. Much like the story of Halloween drove around the potential return to the Mad King, storyline for our living world releases will play a big part in the content that appears and changes the world as a result. We want to make this a much bigger part of where Guild Wars 2 goes in the future to give a sense that the world truly can change constantly as you're playing and every time you log in. What we've done with Flame and Frost so far is really a small example of what we view the living world to be as a future possibility for Guild Wars 2. Things more along the lines of Halloween, Lost Shores, and Winter's Day are stronger examples, along with new events, guild missions, etc. we've added in releases since launch. The goal is to provide a unifying storyline to the world that ushers new content into the game, changes the game, and makes the world feel truly alive. It's like every month your GM is running new scenarios for your gaming group to enjoy, or your favorite TV show is airing new episodes to experience. We're really barely scratching the surface of what this concept can be for our game, and we're building much more on that in 2013.
That sounds really cool.
So check those out. They're pretty new forums, so there's not a lot of comments on either one. Although I am seeing someone brought up, and I didn't even realize, that some of the Norn and Char NPCs that are centered around the living world, living story content, have new hairstyles, new armor, and new weapons that are different than what we currently have in the game. Let's see. Someone says, Norn armor looks new. They don't think it exists. The hairstyle is definitely new and isn't able to be duplicated. So, keep an eye out on that. I haven't really paid much attention, but people are saying they think some of the weapons and things as well don't exist in the game, so maybe we'll see them as maybe part of the living story content. We'll get new stuff entirely.
Wow.
So that's cool. Leprechaun Gold. So yeah, pretty cool stuff. Definitely check it out. And the last thing to kind of be on the lookout for, as I saw mentioned in our chat a little earlier, but as most of you know, April Fool's is just around the corner, and that is a very traditional big part of Guild Wars and ArenaNet. So, we had last year, and I think the year before, we had the cool Terminator-themed Guild Wars April Fool's content in Guild Wars 1, which lasted for several days, maybe even up to a week. So maybe we'll see something cool like that. Maybe we'll see the return of the ArenaNet Commando class that we saw the kind of April Fool's joke for a few years back that ArenaNet put up on their main page.
I hope so.
As the reveal for one of the final classes. Excuse me. So we know my point to make on that is we know the assets for those are in the game because they made them to make the videos. So they made the assets for commandos, they made the helicopters, they made night vision, rifles, things like that. So definitely I would check that out because that was pretty cool. And I'm hoping that comes back.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to April Fool's because they definitely will do something, and I'm really excited to see what they're going to do. I wonder if they'll do something for Easter, but there isn't an Easter in Guild Wars universe, so...
No, but they always did in Guild Wars 1, the chocolate eggs, or the golden eggs and the chocolate bunnies, were just things that could drop.
Yeah.
So,
just something little. Maybe they'll probably put like a bunny suit in the gem store or something like that.
Yeah, so that I'm sure bunny ears, because then we already have those once before. Do we have bunny
Yeah,
ears
we've got
already?
bunny ears. We'll put a bunny suit in. Or a bunny
Yeah,
stick.
Yeah, so I'm sure we'll see something. So, and Joel's reminding me about the alchemist for Guild Wars, and I honestly don't even remember that, to be honest with you. So, I'm not gonna call you a liar. But, I actually don't remember seeing that, honestly, which I'm not saying it wasn't there, I just, yeah.
Alright, so should we wrap it up?
I think we should. Oh, it was only on the German version of the site. Okay, well that's why. So, but yeah, very cool. Anyway, so thank you everybody that came out and checked us out, and we hope to have actual responses to our questions. And
yes, answer our questions.
We also have new contests coming out shortly for a various degree of things, so keep your eye out for that as well. Yeah, alright, so oh, and one last thing. I'll bring it up as it gets closer, but any of those of you that are nearby Philadelphia, the end of May, beginning of June is the Wizard World Philadelphia Comic-Con, the Philadelphia Convention Center in Philadelphia. I will be going there, so I'm not doing any panels or anything like that. I'm just going to be at the con because, I mean, half of the cast of Firefly, as well as Stan Lee and a handful of other people, are going to be there. So, yeah, I'm going to be there. So if you want to hang out with me or something, let me know. I'll be walking around the floor just as a Ghostbuster, or, you know, I don't know. Maybe an Adventure Time character and Captain Malcolm Reynolds from Firefly. I don't know. We'll see. Anyway, yes. So for that, make sure you hang on to all your leprechaun gold because they're sneaky little bastards. They'll take it away. But yeah, have a wonderful night, you guys, for Chronicles of Tyria, episode number 39?
Yep.
39. All right. I'm Lagwyn.
And I'm Kaysee.
And we will see you guys next time.
Bye, guys. Oh.